When it is used correctly, the LLC is one of the most effective strategies for business owners to limit liability and keep taxes low. However, unfortunately, a lot of people who have LLCs make major mistakes when it comes to deductions. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Taxes Made Simple. I'm your host, Carlton Dennis, and in today's video, we are going to break down the 5 biggest tax deduction mistakes that LLC owners commonly make. If you own an LLC and you want to prevent making deduction mistakes so that you can keep the most amount of money that you earn in your pocket, then this is the video for you. Let's dive in. Guys, let's talk about why LLC deductions matter. Before we get into the mistakes, let's talk about why LLC deductions even matter in the first place. There are several reasons why LLC mistakes matter. The first is that some of these mistakes can result in missing out on a significant tax savings. This is because you are not deducting everything that you are allowed to deduct. Then you are essentially leaving money on the table for Uncle Sam, the IRS, that could otherwise keep it. The second reason why LLC deduction mistakes matter is because you could end up causing yourself a red flag with the IRS. This is something that you want to avoid if possible, because let's be honest, an audit is a major hassle and no one wants to deal with that. All right, guys, now that we covered some of the benefits to understanding why deduction mistakes matter, I want to give you guys the biggest deduction mistakes that people are going to make this year in 2022. Let's dive in. Here are the top 5 LLC tax deduction mistakes. Number 1, paying your mortgage or your rent on your business. Some LLC owners make the mistake of thinking that just because they work out of their home or because they use their home in some capacity for their business, that it means that they can deduct their entire mortgage or rent through their LLCs. This is not the case. Yes, it is true that you might be able to deduct part of your mortgage and rental expenses, but it's usually never the full mortgage or rental expenses that are eligible for deduction. In fact, the mortgage and rental payments are considered personal expenses that only get allocated to the business come tax time. The exact amount of money that you can deduct from your mortgage or rent payments depends exactly how you use your home for business and how much of your home you use inside of your business. According to the IRS, to deduct expenses for business use of the home, you must use part of your home as one of the following: exclusively and regularly used as a principal place of business for your trade or business. Exclusively and regularly used as a place where you meet and deal with your patients, clients, or customers in the normal course of your trade or business. Number 3, a separate structure that's not attached to your home, used exclusively and regularly in connection with your trade or business. And number 4, on a regular basis for storage of inventory or product samples used in your trade or business of selling products at retail or wholesale. For rental use or as a daycare facility, generally speaking, you will only be able to deduct mortgage or rental expenses for the portion of the home you use for business. So for example, if you only use 1/8 of your home for business, you can't expect to write off or deduct 50% of your mortgage or rent expenses. You could expect to deduct the 1/8 of the mortgage and rental expenses that's being used. Guys, let's dive into mistake number 2, forgetting to allocate subscriptions. GoDaddy, WordPress, Apple, bills, all of these different subscriptions. They're one of the most common things LLC owners forget to deduct on their returns. And the reason why this is the case is because subscriptions are often billed automatically, either monthly or yearly. So a lot of LLC owners completely forget about them, even though they are business expenses that qualify for the deduction, even if you paid for it before you set up your LLC. When it's time to do taxes, many LLC owners focus heavily on other types of deductions, but completely leave out subscriptions like GoDaddy fees, WordPress fees, Microsoft Office fees, Apple fees, etc. While many of these fees might not be that much by itself, when you add up all these fees, it can be hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of deductions that you just might be missing out on. So please, guys, don't forget about these fees. Make sure you deduct them, and we will jump into number 3. Using business credit card points for personal items, then trying to write them off on your business tax returns. Guys, business credit cards for LLCs are awesome. This is because when you spend them, you can earn a lot of points that you can put towards personal items like airfare, hotel, etc. But you need to know something, taxpayer, that when you spend your business credit card points on personal items, these expenditures are not tax deductible. Unfortunately, many LLC owners are not aware of this. In fact, they land themselves in hot water with the IRS every single year of this situation when they try to deduct personal expenses that they made with their business credit card points on their tax returns. To avoid dealing with audits, penalties, or any other negative consequences from the IRS, you should always avoid trying to deduct any personal expenses that you make using business credit card points, okay? If you use the points to make business expenses, on the other hand, then these would be fully deductible. Entertainment expenses would be the next one. Many entertainment expenses such as sporting events, season tickets, golf matches, concerts, used to qualify for deductions, guys. They used to qualify. But now, based on the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which went into effect in 2018, they eliminated the general deductions of business entertainment expenses underneath Code Section 274A. And this is an extremely important tax code change for LLC owners to be aware of because business entertainment expenses can be extremely large. So LLC owners who are not aware of this new rule, who try to deduct business entertainment expenses, could end up owing significantly more in taxes than they thought when they get audited down the road. It could be difficult too for some LLC owners who are used to spending a lot of money on entertainment to adapt to some of these tax law changes that I'm telling you about. But because the tax code has been changed, it is definitely necessary for you to get with the program. So don't take any chances by trying to deduct entertainment expenses. Instead, just make sure that you're going to spend money on these types of expenses, that the money you spend is well within your budget. Luckily, the Tax Cuts Jobs Act did not eliminate the deductibility of food and beverage expenses for business owners, which are generally deductible at 50%, but they're at 100% for 2022. So I'm sorry guys, you will not be able to write off your company's season tickets to your local NBA or MLB team, but at least you will still be able to write off 100%, which will eventually be 50% on the business meal expenses. That still counts for a lot. Deducting childcare expenses underneath the business. Childcare expenses are always personal expenses and they are included in the individual tax return when you have a dependent. So you should never try to deduct childcare expenses as an LLC owner. Some LLC owners get confused about this when they hire their own children as employees, and it's understandable why they would get confused about this because no one's giving you this type of information I'm giving you. But the truth is that you cannot just deduct childcare expenses in your LLC. So if you do have a child, you need to make sure that you deduct the childcare expenses properly as a personal expense and not as a business expense. Otherwise, you'll be sending a major red flag to the IRS. And there's a very good chance you'll probably end up having to deal with some punitive consequences that you probably do not want to deal with down the road. So just be aware. Being aware of all of these tax deduction mistakes for LLC owners can help you prevent losing out on thousands of dollars worth of deductions and more. Most LLC owners are constantly thinking about improving their bottom line. Improving the bottom line is not always about generating more revenue. Optimizing your tax strategy can also help you take home and keep more of your hard-earned money and provide it to your family if that's what you wish to do. I sincerely hope that this video has helped you understand a little bit more about what not to do with your LLC so you can avoid mistakes moving forward. If you have any questions about your LLC, your tax deductions, whether or not you're making mistakes, some of the mistakes we just went over, or if you just need advice, feel free to get in touch with my company by clicking the link in the description below. We can help you to find every single deduction that you qualify for as an LLC owner, and we will help you prevent leaving any money on the table or making any mistakes that could invoke the wrath of the IRS. So that's all for this video, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know what it is. I'll see you on the next video. Over and out.